You've probably rolled with someone like this before. They're not flashy, they're not doing anything crazy, they may not even look that athletic, but the second the round starts, you can feel it. Every position gets harder, every mistake gets punished, and somehow they always feel one step ahead. So what actually makes someone dangerous in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Most people think it's technique, and technique matters, but technique alone is not what makes someone dangerous. The most dangerous grapplers usually have a mix of timing, pressure, awareness, control, and intent that makes their whole game feel oppressive. Once you understand that, you start seeing the difference between someone who just knows moves and someone who is a real problem on the mat. A lot of people confuse knowledge with danger. They think if someone knows a lot of moves, they must be hard to deal with. But that's not always true. There are people with a huge mental library of techniques who still don't feel threatening. And then there are people with relatively simple games who feel like absolute nightmares. Why? Because being dangerous in BJJ is less about how many moves you know and more about how consistently you can impose good decisions, deny bad positions, and capitalize on mistakes. Danger comes from pressure, timing, control, awareness, confidence, and intent. Technique is part of it, but it's only one part. Section 1. They make you pay for mistakes. The first thing that makes someone dangerous is simple. Your mistakes cost you immediately. Against average training partners, you can be sloppy and get away with it. You leave an elbow out. You expose your neck for a second. You get lazy with inside position. You pause in transition, and nothing happens. Against dangerous people, something always happens. They make you pay. Dangerous grapplers don't just know submissions. They recognize openings fast and act on them without hesitation. That means you feel pressure all the time. Not just physical pressure, strategic pressure, because now you know every small mistake matters, and that mental stress changes the entire round. Section 2. They control before they attack. A lot of grapplers chase submissions too early. They see an arm and jump on it. They see a neck and force it. They rush the finish before they've really earned the position. Dangerous grapplers usually do the opposite. They control first. They make you carry their weight. They isolate your movement. They break posture. They trap defensive reactions. Then they attack. That's why their submissions feel so tight and so inevitable. It's not that they found a secret move. It's that by the time they go for the finish, you're already stuck. They've already removed your good options. That's what makes them scary, not the submission itself, but the control that came before it. Section 3. Their timing makes simple things feel brutal. One of the clearest signs that someone is dangerous is timing. Not speed, timing. There's a difference. Some people move fast but waste motion. Dangerous grapplers hit the right action at the right moment. They off-balance you just as you try to settle. They enter the legs as your weight shifts. They arm drag as your posture rises. They recover guard the second pressure changes. That timing makes even basic techniques feel elite. A well-timed sweep can feel unstoppable. A basic collar choke can feel suffocating. A simple back take can happen before you even realize the mistake. That's why dangerous grapplers often look effortless. They're not always doing more, they're doing it at the exact right time. Section 4. Master of the Storm. Another thing that makes someone dangerous is composure. This gets overlooked because it's not flashy, but calmness is a weapon. Dangerous people don't rush just because the round gets messy. They don't panic when they lose position. They don't waste energy trying to force something that isn't there. They stay clear. A lot of rounds are decided in the in-between moments. Who wins the scramble? Who protects the neck first? Who finds the underhook? Who settles on top instead of almost getting the sweep and losing it? Composed grapplers dominate those transitions. Once someone consistently wins chaotic moments, they become very hard to deal with. Section 5. Their pressure changes your behavior. Real danger in BJJ changes how the other person behaves. The truly dangerous grappler doesn't just run their game, they force you into a worse version of your game. You start rushing, you start over-defending, you hesitate, you stop attacking, you hold your breath, you mentally shrink. That's what pressure does. And pressure doesn't always mean smashing from top. Pressure can be pace, pressure can be hand fighting, pressure can be constant grip threats, pressure can be making you feel like rest is impossible. Dangerous grapplers know how to keep you physically and mentally busy. Once that happens, your decisions get worse. That's when they take over. Section 6. They respect position. One of the least glamorous but most important traits of dangerous grapplers is that they respect position. They understand where they are, what matters most, and what risks are worth taking. That means they don't throw away top position for low percentage submissions. They don't abandon control just to look busy. They don't confuse movement with progress. They understand that mount matters, back control matters, inside position matters, head position matters, and underhooks matter. This makes them hard to bait and hard to trick. A lot of people are only dangerous when everything is going their way, but truly dangerous grapplers are hard to derail because their positional understanding keeps them stable. Even when the first attack fails, they're still in a strong place. That's a nightmare to deal with. Section 7. They have a game, not just random techniques. Another major difference is game coherence.
Dangerous people usually know what they want. They have sequences. They have preferred reactions. They know what they're funneling you into. Maybe they want front headlock. Maybe they want half guard underhook battles. Maybe they want collar sleeve into triangle. Maybe they want body lock passing into mount. Whatever it is, it connects. That's what makes them dangerous. Because now you're not dealing with isolated moves. You're dealing with a system. And systems are hard to stop. One failed defense leads to the next problem. One escape opens another trap. One grip break gives them another entry. This is why someone with fewer total techniques can still feel much more dangerous than someone who knows everything. Their game actually works together. Section 8. They believe they can finish. This part is more psychological, but it matters. Dangerous grapplers often have a certain conviction when they attack. They don't grab a submission and hope, they enter with intent. They commit at the right time. They trust their mechanics. You can feel the difference. You can tell when someone is trying a move, and you can tell when someone knows they've got you. That confidence sharpens finishing ability. It doesn't replace skill, but it amplifies it. Hesitation ruins a lot of good technique. Confidence helps it land. Section 9. Technique still matters, but only in context. To be clear, technique absolutely matters. Bad mechanics fail under pressure. Bad habits get exposed. Sloppy movement falls apart against resistance. But technique by itself is not what makes someone dangerous. Danger comes from technique combined with timing, control, pressure, awareness, efficiency, and intent. That's why some of the most dangerous people in the room don't look flashy at all. They just feel impossible to deal with. Everything they do has purpose. Everything connects. Everything puts you further behind. That's real danger in jiu-jitsu. So what actually makes someone dangerous in BJJ?
Not just technique. It's the ability to punish mistakes, control before attacking, use timing instead of panic, stay calm in chaos, apply pressure that changes behavior, respects position, and build a game where everything connects. That's why some grapplers feel different the moment you touch hands. They're not just doing moves, they're imposing a system. And once you understand that, your training changes. Because now you stop chasing random techniques and start building the traits that actually make people hard to survive. If you've ever rolled with someone who felt dangerous without doing anything flashy, you know exactly what this means. Drop a comment and tell me what made them feel different. And if you want more breakdowns like this from a real grappling perspective, subscribe to Choke Science.